Hello, my Stampin' friends. How are you today? My name is Linda Edwards, and I'm with Crafty Heron Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I am here to show you how to make this fun fold card. It is called a Cascading Pleats Fun Fold, and it is in the portrait direction. I've also seen it made in the horizontal or landscape direction, but for today, I'm going to show you how to make it in this portrait direction. And we are using this wonderful Spring Corners stamp and die set. It is available online in my Stampin' store, craftyherondesigns.com, and it is an online exclusive. So it is only available online. It is not available in any catalog. And here are some of the dies. As you can see, this die is already out because we're gonna use it. There's some fun little corners and balloons and a starburst and some other fun dies with this stamp set. I just really love, I don't know, I like a combination of script and print, and I just think the corners are really fun. And of course, this fun fold is perfect for this, perfect way to show off this stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're watching because you have ordered the card kit to go from me, this is a sample of what your card kit will look like. Some of the pieces will already be die cut for you, but because I'm doing the video, I wanted to show you how to do it if you didn't order the card kit. Of course, your kit comes in an envelope. And the card base, I'm going to show you, I actually made a template here with all of the information in it. So that to me, that's the easiest way to do a card like this, where you can really see the template. So it's an 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 1 1/16. That's the first score line. Then 2 1/8, 3 3/16, and 4 1/4. So depending on how you use your trimmer, you know, those are those score lines. So 1 1/16, I guess it would be this way, 1 1/16, 2 1/8, 3 3/16, and 4 1/4. So of course the 4 1/4 is like anything, it's just a half fold. And then these folds are going to go backwards this way. But before you do that, we have to make some more cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that on the trimmer so that you can follow along. So as you can see, let me see, I'm going to keep that in there. There are some additional cuts. So what I'm doing is that this is my score blade. I'm going to get that one out of the way. This is my cutting blade. I'm going to put it up here. And I am going to cut 3/4 of an inch. I'm doing it on the right side of my trimmer. So, you know, the trimmer, you can measure this way or this way. I'm going to move the card over 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to cut to the third score line. 1, 2, 3. All right. This is the score line I'm cutting to. You see that here? And basically, this is the cut that I'm making here. So it's at 3/4 of an inch, you know, measure twice, cut once. There we go, 3/4 of an inch. Close it. And then this is my 4 1/4. That's not the score line I want to go to. I'm going to go to this 3 3/16. And I can see through my trimmer. So I can see where this score line is. And then the trimmer itself, I don't know if you can see that. It's got little, like a mark, a hash mark that can tell me when I'm lined up. So it tells me where the center of this cutting blade is. There's a little mark there, and I'm putting that all the way to the end there. I went a little bit over, but it'll be okay. And then I'm gonna just take a pair of scissors and I'm gonna trim that part off. And you can put it in your trimmer if you want to, but I don't think it's necessary. And now I'm gonna move over another 3/4 of an inch. So now I'm lining this part of my card to the 3/4 of an inch mark. See that? There's the 3/4 of an inch, there's the 1 inch. And I'm moving that over to 3/4, and this time I'm only cutting to the first score line right here. So push my blade up all the way, make sure I'm snug, holding it all down, and I can see with my finger here, I can see where my score line is. So again, I'm bringing this down, lining up those marks there, and then I'm gonna cut that. So if you've received the card kit from me, your this piece is already cut like this. So you don't have to worry about that. But what you will have to do is you're gonna have to make the next cut. So see how my template is, so you can kind of see what you're cutting. So you're gonna cut from the fold lines here and here. So I'm going to the middle fold line. I'm gonna line it up, this fold to that fold, that score line to one score line to the next. I'm just gonna go like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. So it's the second score line to the first score line. And I just hold my scissors, point them in the right direction, and snip. That's it. And then you're gonna fold your card. It's a Z fold. So you fold it in half, and then you fold it back. And let me move that over and bring in my bone folder. I wanna make sure that I get good creases all the way around. So that one, crease there. Two is another one. Creasing all the way through. There we go. And that's your card base. All the way through. Okay. So now let's go ahead and make the inside of our cards. So these are all the different layers that you're gonna have. So there's the front layer, the middle layer, and the bottom layer. So again, if you've ordered the card kit from me, all your layers are pre-cut, but I'll go ahead and tell you that this first layer is 4 by 5 1/4. That one's gonna go right there. Then the next layer, 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so they're all 1/4 inch layers. And then this following layer, bring in my notes, this one is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, and then the next layer is 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. Actually, that looks like it's 3 3/4. Let me just measure that, because I think that one is actually 1/4 inch difference. Yep, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Yeah, so it's just 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then the designer series paper, so this could be a piece of white cardstock and you could stamp on it. I just chose to go ahead and bring in a designer series paper. And this is the paper from the, let me think, what's the name of it? The Floral Delight designer series paper. So this one is 3 by 4, or no, by 4 1/4. And that layer is gonna be there. And then the very last piece is 4 by 2 3/4. Oh, here, this is where I was messing up. This one is just 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. And then this last one here is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. So these are all a 1/4 inch difference between the layers. This one's a little bit tighter. So let's do our stamping and die cutting. We're gonna bring our 2 white pieces here. Set that aside. And let's go ahead. We're gonna die cut this piece. So this is a cute little die that comes with this set. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring it in the lower left-hand corner. And I'm gonna bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because I can, right? Because it fits well, works well with the mini. So I'm gonna go ahead and line that up. So you need your cutting edge is gonna go down, but we're gonna start with the base plate, and then we need 2 of these cutting plates. These are the number 2 plates. And when you're using your mini, I'll give you a little secret. You want to stagger the plates so that it becomes, see that's like an E, like the letter E. Maybe I should do it over here, maybe that's easier to see. Where these two, the top and bottom plates are pretty much parallel, and then this one is pulled back a little bit. It helps you to get a good clean cut, and it goes through your machine very easily. So let's go ahead and use a little piece of tape. I want to make sure that doesn't move on me. Because my plate is a little bit bowed, sometimes it'll move a little bit on me. So I'm going to use a piece of tape and just run that through the machine. I'm going to go back and forth just because I'm here, and I don't always need to do that, but sometimes when there are some intricate die cuts, it helps to go both directions. So take that off, and yeah, that went through very nicely. So let me set that aside. And isn't that cute? I just thought it was really fun because then I can layer it and you can see the colors underneath it. Looks like I had some smudges on my plates. So let me bring in, oh dear. Oh, here it is. This is an adhesive remover. You can just get them from any craft or art supply store. They certainly have them on Amazon, but it'll take off, see, it takes off that little bit of dirt that was on there. All right, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and I'm using the Happy Birthday sentiment. You could certainly make this with use any of the sentiments that you own. Now, I am gonna bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat, just so that I make sure I get a good image. And of course with the photopolymer, it's nice because you can see through. So I get a nice image there. And I will set that one aside. And then we're gonna bring in the other piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to use my Stamparatus. Now, Stampin' Up no longer sells the Stamparatus, but that has not stopped me from using it. There are other stamping platforms available. Misty is one that comes to mind. Use whatever you can. You can actually also do it with a without the Stamparatus. You can use a block. It works fine. But because I want us doing it in class, I want to make sure that these are as close to the edge as possible. And again, because I was doing it in class, it's just easier for everybody to get a good clean image and to make sure it's all lined up properly by using the Stamparatus. So that's what I'm gonna do. And as you may see, I have put in a little template for myself. I am using the foam pad because it is a photopolymer stamp. And I cut this little template so that I don't have to deal with the stamp being in the corner. You can imagine if I was doing it in the corner, it would be really tough to get it far enough up there. So I cut myself a little template and I use it that way. And now I'm just inking up my stamp with the Pecan Pie ink. And go ahead. And I think I'm gonna do one more time up here because I didn't get a really super good image, which of course is the wonderful thing about a stamp positioning tool. It allows you to repeat very easily. All right, there we go. Move that aside. And I think we are ready to assemble. Oh, yeah. No, we're gonna do a little more stamping because we're gonna bring in this flower and we're gonna stamp it on the inside, and you could also do it, use it to color your envelope. So this is Old Olive ink, and I'm gonna just kind of do a little flower there. And then I'm gonna use some of my Stampin' Up markers to color my flower in the same colors that I'm using from the Designer Series paper. So I got my colors from there, from the designer series paper. Let's see. Now you could use, this is actually Granny Apple Green, I'm pretty sure. Yep, Granny Apple Green. I wanted there to be a little bit of a contrast in the color between the outline of the ink, which is Old Olive, and the base of the leaves so that you could still kind of see them. So that's Granny Apple Green. Let's see, I think we will do the orange. This is Pumpkin Pie. And I'm using the thin end of the marker because these little petals are very short, they're very small. So really just running, I'm not worried about being too super careful. It doesn't have to be all filled in. There could be some white there, that is perfectly fine. But I am trying to get a fair amount of color. And then I'll bring in the Daffodil Delight and give those, the tip of the flower, a little color. And here we go. Actually, I think I'm gonna get it better. It's so small that it's hard to get it in there. So let's use a little bit of yellow. Yeah, there we go. That works a little bit better. There we go. So now I think everything's done. So we just assemble. So I'm going to assemble my layers first. So this layer, now I'm a green glue girl. I like to use green glue, but you will see that as we put the layers on the card, you certainly could use, and maybe would be better off with tear and tape, because you want something strong. Tear and tape or your seal, Stampin' Seal Plus. So again, this is the second layer. Just layering them all up. You see it's very obvious what goes with what level. You can see this is two-sided paper. There we go. Isn't that pretty? All the papers in that suite are really lovely. And then this piece. So I like the peach pie with the lemon lolly. I think it's really a fun color combination. Very bright and springy, summery. Nice for this time of year. Of course, this lemon lolly reminds me of the pollen here in Georgia. I don't know if you have pollen near where you live, but it's very bad here. We have a lot of pine trees, and pine pollen is very thick. So, and it's sticky. It gets all over everything. And we've got this beautiful, gorgeous weather, and it makes it difficult to go out and enjoy it because the pollen is just so thick. Fortunately, I do not have allergies, so it doesn't bother me from that perspective, but it does make a mess of everything. And sometimes it's a little hard to breathe just because it's thick and sticky. Okay, so now, as you can see, here's my card base. I brought that back in. I'm gonna put that first layer here. Actually, I think I'm gonna wait on this one because I wanna show you something. We're gonna put this layer on next, this layer on first. So this is the second layer. And if you see, if I fold that up, I'm gonna open just one or two. Okay, this is the layer I'm gonna put this piece on. And I just wanna make sure that it doesn't go below the bottom of my card. Now you can use tear and tape on this. You can use Stampin' Seal Plus, but I wouldn't use regular Stampin' Seal because it's a movable part of the card. I think you're gonna want it to be a little bit stronger than regular Stampin' Seal. And I like the glue because I can kind of slide it if I need to. Press that down, and then I wanna make sure that, see, it's level so it doesn't throw off my card. And I can even see here that it's not sticking down below that level. And we're gonna do the same thing here. So see, isn't this easy? It really comes together fairly quickly once you cut all the pieces out. That, of course, and I did that part for you. But cut all the pieces out. There we go. That one's right there. Lines up very nicely. And I'll show you why I waited to put this one in. Because sometimes if you didn't get your sentiment all the way over, it might cut it off. So you can wiggle, you can play around a little bit and move this side up or over if you want to. I think mine is gonna be fine. Of course, I had the advantage of, working on the Stamparatus. I don't mind if a little bit of the letters are closed off, but I just wanted to give you that tip that you could slide your piece over a little bit if too much of your sentiment is covered up. And there we go. And of course, we want to add a little bit of bling to our card. We have lots of options, but I really like these pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive dots. So that's what I'm going to use, and that's what's in your kit if you did get a kit. And I'm going to just take these. Let's see here. I think I'll use my take your pick tool. Put one there. Put one over here. I like the pecan pie. It brings in that color. But you could certainly use whatever you have on hand. And then you can stamp your envelope. You can do the same thing. Use the same thing on the envelope so that your recipient knows that they're getting something special in the mail. I hope you like this card. If you do, give me a thumbs up. It helps others to find me. And if you want to be notified of future videos that I do, go ahead and follow me. And if you comment, again, it also helps others to find me. So if you liked it, I would really appreciate it if you could leave me a comment. Thanks again for joining me today. My name is Linda Edwards with Crafty Here and Designs, and I look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Bye for now.